Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lebanon Board of Works meeting for March 24th. First order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, and did we see the minutes?
No.
Not yet. Not for Board of Works? Okay. So we'll have those minutes for our next meeting. First up will be department head reports. Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, Board. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 888 calls for service. Total of 32 people were arrested for the following crimes: 10 for operating while intoxicated, 7 were wanted on a warrant, 3 for domestic battery, 1 for possession of meth, 4 for operating while never licensed, 2 for driving while suspended, 1 for possession of stolen property, 1 for theft, 1 for minor in possession of alcohol, 1 for intimidation, 1 for invasion of privacy. In that same time frame, the officers took 23 crash reports, and we sent 3 handgun permits off to the state for final approval. We didn't have any training to report for the last 2 weeks, but I did want to update you guys on our hiring process that we're in. So we had 32 applications taken. Out of the 32, we had 20 show up for the physical agility on Saturday morning. Out of the 20, we had 17 pass the physical agility. That then, the same day, they did the written test. So we sent those 17 on for that, and we should have those results back probably by the end of this week, if not the beginning of next. So those numbers are pretty small, but that's actually an improvement, so it is what it is.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Morgan from the board, for the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has responded to 130 emergency calls of service, logged 388 training hours, participated in 1 public education event, and completed 46 commercial inspections. The week of March 10th, LFD firefighters participated in live fire evolutions at the Boone County Training Tower. The training concentrated on handline deployment, search, and rescue. March 22nd and 23rd, engineers Gabe Westerfeld and John Thompson attended Advanced Pump and Hydrant School at the ESEC. That's the Emergency Services Education Center in Wayne Township. The class was focused on pumper operations and techniques to help maximize water supply at fire scenes. Last week, LFD firefighters completed their annual work performance evaluations. The WPE is a timed physical aptitude test that firefighters must complete every year. We also use it as a return to work metric when firefighters are injured or have an extended illness. Happy to report that LHS interns Carly Adams and Taylor O'Brien participated and completed it within the time parameters. And we have 2 great interns. We have good interns every year. These 2 are very engaged, and we're happy to have them. 3 LFD members celebrated milestone service achievements this month. Engineers Tori Bossum and Jared Orem completed 10 years, and Lieutenant Sean Yancey completed 5 years of service at LFD. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? From the public? Thank you, sir. All right, next will be Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. The softball field at Abner, soccer fields at Reese Park, and baseball field at Memorial Park all been prepped and ready for spring ball. Already had a black and gold game out there last weekend for the Lebanon High School. That's their varsity field. All restrooms and drinking fountains are open and good order. All shelters been power washed, clean, ready for the summer and the spring that we got coming up. The beds downtown at Gene Haas been cleaned up. All the plant material taken care of and edged and mulched. The pergola at the pool entrance has been power washed, scraped, repainted, along with both the vessels been touched up. We've also patched some concrete. All the umbrellas, we had to replace those. They're 10 years old, so we replaced all the workings underneath and repaired those and replaced them. Taken care of 7 trees in the past couple of weeks with all the winds we had along the trail. 4 trees at Abner Longley. A lot of branches. Fountains have been installed at the hot pond and the conservation pond. Looking at putting it at DPW also. Just met with him last week. Jason and Billy, everybody out there took care of that. The gates at the all-inclusive playground have been replaced and repaired. That's the second time this year. Parents, just keep an eye on your kids. There's been a little bit of vandalism. Had a door kicked in at the well house at Memorial Park this weekend too. Just so you know, we have a lot of cameras on you, and we will go forward with restitution and prosecution. In fact, I have a court hearing Thursday, already done the walkthrough. We've already had 2 other cases this spring, so we are going forward. And I hate to do it, but just keep an eye on your kids. That's all I can say. This past weekend, a few clubs at the high school, FFA, Key Club, and National Honor Society hosted a 5K in Memorial Park. All funds were donated to Erica's Lighthouse, which is an organization for mental health resources. Last Saturday, there was a car show held at Memorial Park, just a small one. A pretty good turnout also. Our pool party calendar is full. It's booked for the summer, so sorry about anybody who wants a pool party. They are all taken. Construction has started on the pickleball courts. Kevin will enlighten you on the update on that, and also repairing or touching up the work down at the conservation pond on that fishing pier. So we won't be hosting anyway a spring pickleball league. Things are progressing very well. They've done very good in the weather, and looking forward to that. I've already had about 10 pickleballers come in and want to know when it's ready. And that asphalt has to cure, so there's probably 30, 45, 60-day wait in between time that we can actually coat it. So it might look done too, but there's still other work to be done. The asphalt has not been done yet though, but the groundwork has. Our spring break story time is now open for registration. You can come out to the Her Cabin on Tuesday, April 1st and Thursday, April 3rd for an hour-long story time and craft. We are partnering with Amazing Princess Parties for this event, and each story will feature a live character. Cost is $5 for child and includes a craft. There again, our annual Easter egg hunt will take place on Saturday, April 19th. We will begin the special needs hunt at 9:30 with the 3 age group hunt starting at 10:30. Our age groups are 2 to 4, 5 to 7, and 8 to 10-year-olds. Each hunt will include a special egg, and whoever finds it will receive prize from the Parks Department. Make sure to visit with the Easter Bunny and get your pictures taken as well. Hope to see you there, and hopefully, Mayor, I haven't asked you officially, but I'm asking you now. Could you help us out?
I'll be there. Yep.
That's great. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it. So is the Easter Bunny there. That's all I had. Any questions?
Hey, John, any questions from the board? From the public? I appreciate all the hard work getting ready for the season.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Engineering Department update. Lots of stuff going on as we get into construction season. Happy to report about this one. Our regional conveyance system, we finally got word back from CSX, and they have agreed to a 50% reimbursement on the cost of the jack and bore under their right of way. They're on South 39 connecting the field house and the surrounding areas over to sanitary ditch. So we're working forward on contract agreements, and once those are executed, we'll go forward with bidding documents and get that project out to bid. In that same note, regional detention, Christopher Burke held a site visit last week on the 20th and visited the site, looked that over, and is now, we've had a kickoff meeting to get back into the design of the regional detention facility. Grant Street, just one quick update. I'm told by the end of the week, we should have all of our closeout documents in hand and our final construction record for our files, and we'll put the contract to rest with us and NDOT on that project. Grant Street Phase 2, getting ready to get started on that. We are all set, have our construction engineering, our inspection contract in place and approved by NDOT and fully executed at this time. We're working with them on constructability reviews. Working with them. Them is Crossroad Engineers. They're our construction inspector, and they're working through the final plans just to look at any constructability issues and try to head those off before we get out to the field. Letting is still scheduled for July 9th. Did get word from NDOT that we have a $306,720 programmed for funds for that construction engineering contract. We'll be requesting those as we get closer to the letting in July. Elizaville Road, just one quick update there. As the weather is warming up, we will be back out to finish up our concrete pours on our driveways, as well as some asphalt seal coating, and those are scheduled for mid to late April. So in the coming weeks. Fordyce, a lot going on over at Fordyce. Since we've last met, we've been working through various water main conflicts, and we appreciate our friends at Lebanon Utilities for working with us on resolving those issues in the field, helping us by moving a fire hydrant and generally just being able to keep the contractor moving as quickly as we can. Sidewalks should be getting cut to grade along with trails this week in Phase 2. That's the area. Phase 2 is the area west of Grant Street. So we've been working primarily in the last couple of weeks on underground storm sewer work. We're now getting ready to cut things to grade and get moving towards our concrete work and paving work in the next couple of weeks. Whit Road, we just received environmental approval, and environmental documents will now be published here at City Hall. They will also be placed in the public library, so we'll now be entering into our public comment period as part of that environmental review process before we will go forward with right-of-way buying. Midland Trail planning, we're getting ready to go revisit the concept, the scope of planning for that project. Getting a meeting set up later in the week with Derek Warren and VS Engineers to kick that project off and keep that moving forward as we obviously are closing the book in the corridor on the Big Four, setting our sights on the next trail, which would be the Midland Trace Trail. Let's talk about 180 makeover program projects. The Cake Company project, we're working with the owners there and the contractors to try to resolve some disputes there and move that project forward to hopefully complete that here shortly. Oaks on Main, essentially all of the work from the Dilling Group is now complete, but until the general contractor for the building gets electricity and plumbing in place, we can't really test any of that equipment, so we're kind of on hold. We're told that should be happening in the next couple of weeks. Lido and Collier's Corner, those two projects, we are working on quoting for that. Unfortunately, we're not seeing as much response to the quotes as we had hoped. I know I was in the meeting agenda for later in the evening to make some recommendations, but I think we're going to have to table that and continue to work with the various contractors that are interested in the project as well as the owner. In addition to very few quotes coming in, there's also the quotes are coming in higher than what was budgeted funded in the ready funds. So we'll have to revisit that with the owner before we move forward with the recommendations. Let's see, pickleball courts, John mentioned that. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some poor soils found as we began excavating in Memorial Park, had a pretty extensive change order for that. We did take this opportunity while we were looking at that to expand the pickleball courts. We're going to provide some fencing in between the courts. Some of those interstitial spaces, those sideline spaces are going to get a little larger and bring those up to pickleball standards. And so we're working with that change order will be on the docket for later in the meeting. But essentially all the excavation is complete. We're stoning those courts and getting ready for asphalt in the coming days. And then there have been some advancements on some of the epoxy coatings that you see. It's no longer 30 to 60, 90 days, as John was saying. Really, we only have to wait about 2 weeks once that asphalt goes down. So we will be able to expedite that. But we'll finish up those pickleball courts in Memorial Park before we move to Abner Longley, so there'll always be playable pickleball courts. Got word from our contractor over at the Big Four Trailhead with the redo of the parking lot over there. They are tentatively scheduled to be here on May 5th to start working on that project. Abner Longley Park Perimeter Path Phase 1 is scheduled to start sometime in April. Just waiting on asphalt plants to open and weather to be cooperable. And then let's see, Fire Station 12, the new generator. We are now under contract with Adams Electric to move that generator forward and complete that project for them. And let's see, we have the 2025 resurfacing program for DPW. Had our pre-construction meeting a couple weeks ago and are looking to start sidewalks this week. And I think you've seen some of that social media posts. We thank Joe for helping us out and getting the word out that we're going to be starting some of that demo work and completion of the ramps. Always first and foremost is we do the ramps first before we fall back for the paving. And then Leap District project updates. Witt Road, there's a lot of work on the South Witt Road, final grading, seeding, regrading of swales, end section repairs, utility relocations, some utility poles that have to be relocated. And before we wrap that up, putting the final touches on there. The soft closure there and at 375 remains in place, waiting on CSX. Last update from CSX was they would be there today. They did not show up today, so we'll keep you posted. We put that request out to see why they weren't here today, but no response. And so as soon as we know more, we will share that with everybody. And then the new interchange at 52 and 65, pre-construction meeting was held a few weeks back. Utility relocation work is ongoing. You might see some of the crews out there working in the field, I think primarily for the gas company. Right-of-way clearing is also complete. Best way to see some of that is if you go over along 52, you'll see areas where a lot of trees have been cut down recently for where the new relocated 52 will go through that area to make that connection to the new interchange, which will be about a quarter mile north 300. I think that's all I have.
That's it, huh? All right. Questions for Kevin from the board? From the public? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Next up will be Planning Department and Bontrager.
Evening, board members. Over the last couple of weeks, the planning department completed 143 building inspections. So we're doing about 14 or 15 a day. It's a pretty good pace for this time of year. And also issued 47 permits. And of those 47 permits, there were 3 new single family permits. So still seeing some pretty regular and good activity there on the single family side. Certainly as we start to release more neighborhoods later this year, we're going to see those numbers go up significantly going into the latter half of this year and into the next year. So really starting to track a lot of those projects moving forward this year. In terms of Plan Commission applications, we just had a deadline a couple of weeks ago for the April Plan Commission meeting, and we have 2 rezone requests. They're actually neighboring properties on State Road 32. Those are both properties that are currently zoned light industrial, but they are commercial or lots out in front of our Shell building. So they're actually both requesting to rezone from light industrial to general business to facilitate some commercial development on those properties. So looking forward to getting that rezone going and then seeing what the proposals are for those lots. Last thing that we'll have at the Plan Commission meeting this next month is the presentation of the comprehensive plan update for the city. We've been working over the last year or so on that update. Obviously, as you guys are all aware, there's a lot of things that have happened over the last few years since we updated this just 5 years ago. So felt it was necessary to do another update to acknowledge those changes and also look at future opportunities in the city related to those things. So those will all be presented at the Plan Commission meeting here in April, and then would move forward then to the council for consideration at that time. On the code enforcement side, we're going to start seeing the ramp up here in the spring of activities. Over the last couple of weeks, they had 79 different investigative activities, a lot of email communications, a lot of notices issued, but then they also have 37 new cases. We're already starting to see a little bit of a spring ramp up of that. So seeing a number of parking and sign complaints that are coming in over the last couple of weeks. So that's all I have to update you on this week.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, and last but not least, Public Works Department, Jason Lawson.
Evening. Since our last meeting, the street department with the bad storms, we went ahead and ran both chippers last week, all week, to get some of the debris ahead of our cleanup week, the first. We replaced 3 street signs. We did installed the banners on Main Street. And then I wanted to point out, I forgot the last report, but the street sweeper picked up 201 loads of debris last year. So 603 cubic yards. The stormwater department responded to 305 utility locates, replaced 3 riser rings on 3 storm structures, and removed 6 yards of debris from the catch basin grates after the rainstorms. The inspections department did 1 SWIP inspection, 4 right-of-way inspections, and fielded 1 complaint.
Sorry, are you good? This report. Any further questions from the board? From the public? All right, thank you, sir. And we don't have Joe tonight, so that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. Nothing on my agenda is there anything from the board? Okay, new business then. First item up, closure request for the Megan Hammerly 5K run. Matt Wilson.
Good evening. Matt Wilson. I'm the executive director of Boone County Elementary Partnership, and we are requesting a street closure for the Megan Hammerly Memorial 5K. Can I put this up here? What we have, typically in years past, we've only looked at a rolling closure on Grant Street. This is May 10th, Saturday, May 10th. The race will start at 9, and with our walkers, we'll probably finish up around 10:30. In years past, we've only looked at Grant Street. However, with the construction going on at the middle school, we've altered our course quite a bit, and in addition to their field house that they're constructing as well. So we're kind of in a tight spot. So our proposal is to run down Grant Street, over to Williams, up Park, Short John on Busby, and then up East Street, utilizing the I cannot remember the proper terminology, but the large sidewalk. What is that?
Trail.
The trail. Okay. Sorry. Utilizing that up to the park and then finishing up, coming up by the high school on the west side and then up Grant Street once again. I've already met with Jason and Kevin and the police department to discuss this. Worked with Rich Mount and Scott Hood to and Rich has already got a couple of officers planning to serve as safety at some of the key spots, and we'll have volunteers at other spots directing runners and walkers as well.
Question? Seems like a good route.
Yep, Saturday, May 10th. Starts at 9.
9:30.
If anyone is interested in running or walking and supporting it, it's to honor Megan's memory, but it's also to support the Boone County Mentoring Partnership. So,
Good. With that, and to approve the request.
Make a motion, we approve the street closure request as presented.
Just to clarify too, it is a rolling closure, not a full closure of those streets. So we have a motion. Is there a second? Second, Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, it's approved. Thank you, Matt.
Very much.
All right, next up, we have a couple temporary alley closure requests. Derek Ward.
Good evening. A couple simple requests here tonight due to construction on some of the buildings on the square. So this is 109, 111 North Meridian Street. So this is the building getting the current treatment is known as the Ballet Building on the south side of this alley. And there's a pretty significant amount of tuck pointing that needs to be done on this building. And they're going to be getting ready for that here shortly. So to keep people from parking in the alley and giving them access to make sure they can complete the job, we are requesting a temporary closure. They will be done by August 1st of 2025. So effective tomorrow through August 1st, 2025. And I've already talked to Jason about this, and we'll get out there and put some temporary barricades up at the end of the alley there on the east end. So the contractor can move them during the day when they're coming in and out, and then they will place them back at the end of the day.
Questions on that from the board? And it does allow north and south travel in the alley behind, correct? It's just strictly just east-west is closed.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a motion then to approve the alley closure request for 111?
Approve the alley request closure at 111 and 109 North Meridian Street from March 25th, correct, to August 1st.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. And next, Derek.
All right, second one on the list. Kevin mentioned these two earlier in his report, Collier Corner and the Lido Building, or Lido, depending on what side of tracks you're from. So they will also need to place, this one's going to go on a little bit longer since there's two buildings here. And the most efficient thing for us to allow is the closure of the north-south alley to the west of these buildings. Otherwise, they're having to work with the state and get state right-of-way permits and jump through a bunch of those hoops. So working with the contractor, we felt the best solution would be just to give them space right to the, like I said, as mentioned, to the west of those buildings. If we only close it on the north edge down to the south, it will still allow in and out traffic to the parking lot there to the north of these properties. So it's not the complete closure, but it'll close it to that parking lot.
Kind of the quarter block, essentially.
Correct.
Half block, yeah.
Oh, and the dates on this one is effective tomorrow through November 1st of 2025.
Questions or concerns on that? It's really not a very busy alley anyway, I can imagine, so. Okay, all right, further construction. Entertain a motion then to approve the temporary alley closure request as presented.
Make a motion that we approve the temporary alley closing as we presented.
Motion approved. Is there a second? Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
All right, next up here, approval of secondary plat and acceptance of right-of-way from Donaldson's Chocolates. Ben?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a secondary plat associated with Donaldson's Chocolates out on State Road 39. They own three parcels of property out there, and they're looking to convert those three into two parcels. Lot one would be the parcel that the existing Donaldson's Chocolates facility sits on, and they'd be creating a lot two that's just south of them that they're hoping to market to a retail user. As part of this, and the reason why it's on the BoardWorks agenda is they also currently own to the center line of the private drive that's just north of them between them and Flying J. That is right now a private drive, and with the development happening behind the Flying J, the city needs that to become a public right-of-way. So as part of this, they will also be dedicating that right-of-way, that half right-of-way for that new, I guess not a new public road, for an existing drive that will be becoming a public road. So they'd be dedicating that right-of-way to the city as part of this as well. So this would be approval from the Board of Works on the secondary plat and acceptance of right-of-way.
Any questions on that from the board? Okay, we're in a motion then to approve the secondary plat and accept the related rights of way from Donaldson's Chocolates as presented. We have motions. Or a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Ben. Oh, still, you're up. Next up is the iWork software contract.
Thank you, Mayor. This item here, iWork is the software provider for our permit software for the planning department. They've been our provider for probably at least 5 years now. And obviously over the 5 years, they have made a number of improvements to their software. They made a presentation to us recently and showed off some of those things. And there are a number of them that we think will create some incredible efficiencies in our department and add some additional functionality that we really hope that we really would like to have. So what this service agreement does is essentially replace our existing service agreement and includes those additional features. This would just essentially be our service agreement moving forward. For a full year, it's an additional, I think it's about $9,200. For the rest of this year, it's about $5,800. They gave us, I think, 3 months free and then charge us for the remainder of the year pro rata. So what this agreement is for those additional services, $5,800 for the rest of this year and then $9,200 going into next year. The intention is to use existing funds on hand to pay for the rest of this year and then budget it in the IT budget for next year.
Can you kind of highlight a little bit more of what the additional functionality you're
Yeah,
getting?
for sure. A couple things we're pretty excited about. It's got some more capable mapping abilities. We've been trying for a couple of years to find a simple solution to putting a map on our website that highlights where there are Plan Commission and BZA things happening. With these, it should almost be plug and play to be able to add those to our website. One thing we're really, really excited about is it creates a workflow for certain applications in there. So like, for example, if somebody files an ILP for site construction, there will now be a workflow in there that says, okay, this has to be reviewed and approved by the city engineer. Once Kevin goes in and checks his box, it automatically sends a notification to Lebanon Utilities to say, okay, it's your turn to review and approve these. So it will actually basically formalize our review process where we're basically now just tracking people down via email to see if they've reviewed and approved things. This will actually send notifications to those people, letting them know that it's their turn to review and approve these. We can just go in the system and see that everything's been reviewed and ready to approve. A couple other things will be helpful on our licensing. Right now, we track thousands of licenses for contractors every year. And right now we have to manually look and check and see if their license has expired and then send them a notification that they need to renew their license. With these new services, this will automatically, once a license expires, it'll automatically send them an email saying their licenses have expired. Here's the link to go renew your license and pay your fees. So yeah, just a number of things like that are going to make it a lot easier for us. Take actually some of the work that we have to do now manually, it'll automate that. And so it'll make us a lot more efficient moving forward.
Any questions on that from the board? So essentially what we're doing is we're essentially approving the proposed software contract with iWork, correct?
Correct.
Is this a 1 year, 2 year agreement?
It's an ongoing agreement.
Okay, so you renew it every year?
It gets renewed every year. And actually they haven't increased our fee in the 5 years that we've had an agreement with them.
We have to re-renew it though, because we're changing the terms and some of the items in it. So that's why we're doing it. Yeah, but we've honestly, the iWork is what allows us to do all of the online submission on the complaints and track all of our code enforcement stuff and everything. So it's been a big step up for us. Been great process for us.
And it is for the rest of 25 and 26.
It's a renewal. So, okay. but it keeps the rate is fixed. There's no accelerating rate on this. So, like I said, our fee hasn't changed in the 5 years we've been their clients, and so this essentially will set us at the new fee with these new services moving forward.
So we have a new total one-time setup fee of $22,725.
So that would be the annual total. Is the 22. So if you look down at under the notes, item 6 indicates that for March 31st through January 31st, the total is $58.95.81. And they're including 3 months of free services. So that would be for the remainder of 2025. And then right now we're paying, I think it's about $13,000, and it'll go for the annual from 13 to the 22.
Okay.
Questions, concerns on that? Okay, then, so it's just going to just bring the software contract. With that, we're entertain a motion then to approve the software contract with iWork.
I'll make a motion, we approve the software contract for the planning department.
We have motions, or a second?
Second.
A second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. All right.
Much.
So there was some discussions. Next item up was the RFP, RFQ for the street lighting program. We were having many conversations about this with the attorneys, and that actually needs to be moved to city council so that we can remove that from the agenda. And then also, Kevin, do you want to touch on item G of the quote results, or do you just want a motion to table the 180 makeover program?
Yeah, I'd like to just table that one.
Okay. Can we get a motion then to table the item G from the board?
You want to remove F and table G?
We don't need a motion to remove F. That was just a mistake. Should have been on there.
All right, so just, I make a motion, we table item G.
Motion table, is there a second? Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is tabled. We'll take that up at our next meeting if we can. We'll see. So next up will be a change or a contract change order approval concerning Fordyce Road number 10. Kevin.
Sorry, still up here.
Yeah, remember what you send to Kelly every?
Thank you very much. So Fordyce change order, we have a new change order for you on Fordyce. This is number 10. And this one is for, this one actually comes from our friends at DPW and regarding a change in how we build storm sewer structures. We used to have a standard where the bottom of the storm sewer structure would be not arbitrarily, but it would be lowered below the pipes. It would be what we would call a sump was created. Essentially, the box that the storm sewers connect when you connect storm sewer to storm sewer and change directions in storm sewer used to be required to have a 2-foot deep sump pit in the bottom of it. Think of like a sump pit in a home. This was there to collect debris. But these plans were developed prior to our new stormwater ordinance and our new stormwater standards, and we've now removed those sump requirements, which we think is a good thing. Sumps hold water, stagnant water and leaf debris and things like that just sit there. They grow mosquitoes. They can smell sometimes. They require yearly maintenance to clean them out. So, and since we have developed a program requiring what we would call hydrodynamic separators on almost all facilities, all new facilities to catch and do the same things the sumps were, we no longer need these. So this is a change order essentially to take the storm sewers in the west phase or the phase 2 project, Fordyce from Grant west to East Street, and to fill in those. They're already here on site with those 2-foot sumps, so they're basically just filling in the bottom full of concrete as they grout in the pipes with concrete as they do their work. So again, this request came from DPW. Happy to oblige, and I think it makes sense. So this is change order number 10 for $4,904 to fill in the concrete sumps. Now you know more than you probably ever cared to. But.
Any questions on that from the board? Okay, entertain a motion then to approve change order number 10 for Fordyce Road.
I'll make a motion, we approve change order number 10 for Fordyce Road project.
The motion approves. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. All right, and finally here, a contract change order approval for pickleball court reconstruction number 1.
Very much. Let me pull this one up here. Oh, sorry. Just a little bit of lag here on the system as it pulls this up. I might share this with you because I will admit there's the format of this change order based on the format of the contract is maybe a little hard to decipher. So if I can share my screen here, I can I've added some notes to the change order document that was distributed with the meeting packet. So again, I mentioned this in my report. Couple things. We had some unsuitable soils, delayed the project. That delay prompted us to look at some things and look at expanding the project. So the original contract value for the Memorial Park contract was for $262,250. The court expansion totaled $46,910. And then the unsuitables, this was to excavate an additional 18 inches of material, place a plastic geogrid material underneath that, and then bring the whole thing back up to grade with 18 inches of number 53 stone, $223,000. Or $220,240, excuse me. So this means our contract value just for this one, keep in mind there are two courts, but just for this one went from $263,250 to $530,400. This is all within contingencies that we had planned for. It's eaten up about all of our contingency, but there's no additional appropriation that's needed there for this, but it does require the Board of Works is the contracting entity to approve the change order.
And I will say too, there were some, when we were talking about this project, I had in my head that we had already planned to do the expansion and the fences in between the courts. I guess that got lost in translation somewhere. So that should have been included in the first, quote for the project. But obviously we were correcting it now, which allowed us to do that. But really the hurdle we ran into was just the unsuitable soils, which frankly is why we were having issues with the cracks and all those other things breaking. I mean, the base under the courts was bad, which is what the soils were. So,
and we are proactively looking at the soil around and underneath the tennis courts and pickleball courts at Admiral Longley Park to try to get ahead of that as we go down there and see if we foresee any problems as we get into that project. Hopefully, again, that project will not be expanded, but hopefully hopefully there are no unsuitable soils in that area. And if we do find them, hopefully we can prepare for that and come back before council for an additional appropriation if needed.
Kevin, how far did they have to go down?
18 inches.
I drove by there and it looked like that total was about 4 feet deep.
I think it just can be deceiving.
You mean total? That's the total depth?
Well, it's 18 inches below the subgrade after you stripped off the tennis courts.
It was about 4 foot.
I didn't think it was quite that far, but those old tennis courts that had layer and layer and layer of asphalt added to them, so there was probably a lot of material there. I'll go with 4 feet, sure.
Okay.
It's a lot of stone.
Kevin, is this this one project, or is this both the tennis courts together?
This really eats into all the contingency for both projects. Pretty healthy. Now we are doing all of this on a T&M basis to keep these. This is a T&M not to exceed change order. So we're trying to be as careful with our dollars as we can.
Okay, from my past experience, I'll give you a heads up. I would plan on GeoGrid under Southside tennis courts because you're going to need it down there.
Okay.
It's past experience.
It would not surprise me, but we are, like I said, we're again, thank our friends at DPW. We're going to get a piece of equipment out there and dig some test holes. We are not going to expand those, but this isn't the unsuitable soils is not because we expanded it. Once we took off the 2+ feet of asphalt, there was nothing underneath it that was structurally able to hold the new tennis courts.
I understand.
So, and really, it's not so much holding tennis courts as it is holding the equipment that builds tennis courts.
I can just tell you, you're going to experience the same thing on the south side.
Yeah.
The layout of the south side ones they're not needed, whereas this one, because we have so many of them, it created more space. We have a little more buffer in the other ones, so we'll be okay. All right.
And we do have some drainage infrastructure in the immediate vicinity of the Admiral Longley courts, so we're hoping that soil is a little bit better drained. But this is this is Lebanon, this is Boone County. There's a reason why there's a frog on our county seal, and this was all swampland at one point.
Didn't have a logo for frogs for nothing, you know?
Yeah, back in the time of Chief Stone Eater, this was all forested swampland. So
Exactly.
All right. Any other questions on change order number 1 for the pickleball courts? Would entertain a motion then to approve that.
I'll make a motion we approve the change order for the pickleball courts.
We have a motion
Section
to,
one.
motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to claims. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Hear from the judge first. Motion. Approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion from the board? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion we adjourn.
Motion adjourned from Dick. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, April 14th at 5:30 PM. We are adjourned.
All right. Go boys.